All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, Colts Loyalist. It's Saturday. Yes, Saturday. I decided to go the day before the game rather than Friday because I wanted a day off. Sue me. Okay?
We needed time to get more information about some of these injuries.
Right? That's we'll go with that. Okay.
There you go.
We'll go with that. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate smashing that like button before we even got started. Really appreciate that. Alpha Truett, what's up, guys? I saw that Faze is in here. He says I'll be here. I don't know if I'll be here on time, but I'll be here, and we appreciate that no matter what. I mean, obvious you want to try to be here because you came in before the stream ever started. And Alpha even said the same thing. You know, that's the spirit. He says he's signing them in. That's awesome. So, all right. This is going to be a fun stream. Guys, before we get started, I just want to shout out a few things, okay? One, my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Each and every one of you. Let's see here. Right, here's the button for it. And I know that Loyalists can't see, but, you know, I'm going to shout out Ant Ross, Joseph Thornburg, Pedro51, Loyalist, who is right here. Brian Walton, you're a NPT, Martin Hazel, Goki. Truett, what's up? Truett's in the house. Chang Andrew, Zach Ballinger, Kayvon Jackstar, Fuzzy Whistler, Anthony Zach Avery, and Jay Ponce in real. And then, of course, Colts Fan 57, who just became a member over this past week. Appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to join the Patreon support team and get in on some patron-specific stuff, it's simple. There's a link right here in the description of the video for Patreon. It's only $5 a month. And you know what? I think tomorrow I may do a Patreon-only reaction stream to the game. That way I'm not dealing with other Colts content creators. It's just Patreon only. All right? We'll hang out. Now, maybe afterwards I might edit out a bunch of stuff and then post a highlight reaction video. But if you guys want to join and be in there and hang out, that's cool as heck, man. I'd appreciate it. It's all good. What's up, Zach Erlinson? See you in here as well. More news. So you guys that probably realize that a lot of people use Streamlabs. I use Streamlabs, but not to stream. StreamYard. I use OBS to stream with. I use StreamYard to bring guys on and hang out with me like the way me and Loyalist are doing right now. But I stream with my Stream Labs. Now on StreamYard, if you run with StreamYard, you can click people in the chat and it'll bring it up down here at the bottom. You guys probably seen it many, many times, right? But you wasn't able to do that with Streamlabs. All this other stuff that you see, like, you know, over there beside Loyalist with the whole, you know, donations, subscribers, things like that, and little, yeah, and whenever someone drops money or something or becomes a patron supporter, a little thing comes up and a guy's playing the guitar or something like that, you know, or a money box comes up because, you know, you drop something in the tip jar. Those are widgets from Streamlabs. And apparently Streamlabs is now adding a widget to where I could just look over there in the chat and click your chat and highlight it just the same way. Only I can change it up some, you know, not like the simple box stuff that you see from StreamYard, but I could change the font and color and look and all that neat stuff. So bear with me. It might take me a while to get that down because I'm an old guy, and it takes me a while to get these newfangled things down and understand how they work. But I will get them to work. I promise you. It's just like, what I do here.
I think it'd be cool. I think that we need to get more Patreon members, so that the next thing you have to figure out is how to make all them names scroll, because you can't just let them sit on the screen.
That ain't no joke. That ain't no joke, man. You get about 100 patron subscriber or patron supporters and watch that. You just have to let it scroll down here like the scroll that I got going on here that's reminding people to subscribe. Yeah, that'd be cool. Harpoon Bakery Phase. Hey, glad you made it, bro. Harpoon Bakery, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, we're on Newsbreak. And I got permission to upload Newsbreak stuff from not just me and Loyalist, but now whenever I do stuff with DeQuell Jackson, I can upload that as well. I just uploaded one the other day. So make sure you go check out my Newsbreak. It's free download, free to support, and it pays me in Loyalist, if you download and give us a follow. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. See? Pretty simple. It's easy. Yeah. Guys, Alpha says it looks like that we're peeking through blinds with all the patron names. That's awesome. That's awesome. Faye says he's an Auburn fan, and Auburn and Colts playing 2 days. Couldn't be more perfect. All right. Both of the games good. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, tomorrow's game's going to be ridiculous. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into it because we got some big all pros on both teams in this game, right? I mean, on defense, both teams have two big time all pros. It's been all pros for, multiple years over the last few years, right?
Right.
I mean, obviously we know about DeForest Buckner. We know about Darius Leonard, two seriously good players. And the fact that Buckner moved from the NFC, came to the AFC, now he's first team All-Pro. Because he couldn't make that first team All-Pro with Aaron Donald sitting in front of him. It was kind of difficult, right? But no disrespect to Defoe. He is a beast in his own right, and I'm glad he finally got his All-Pro by coming over here to, the good side and not over there on the dark side.
Yeah, and the thing is he's just not going to get near the publicity, just with the market. But yeah, I he's our number one dude. That's the thing that matters there.
Absolutely. Now, between those three techs, now we know that the Colts, we got Darius Leonard, who I think has been an All-Pro 2 out of 3 years, right? I don't think he made All-Pro the year before last.
No,
I think he made it his rookie year and his third year. Yeah. He's 2 All-Pros, 2 Pro Bowls, which is weird that he made an All-Pro and not Pro Bowl his rookie year.
I thought it was 3 and 2. Okay.
I don't think he was All-Pro last year, or the year before last.
Okay.
Maybe he was. Maybe he's 3 years All-Pro. I don't know. Either way, dude's a beast. All right.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's a turnover machine. No matter when it comes to stuff in the stat sheet, that's what Darius Leonard does. okay? And we're definitely going to need him to do that tomorrow at 1 o'clock because we got to stop this Rams team somehow.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they're saying the same thing about us, but, like you said, I mean, if this turns into a track meet, I don't like, where that, puts us. Now, does that mean that I still imagine, 25, 30-point range. But, yeah, if we get into the big shootout like we saw between them and KC, what was that, a year or two ago? Yeah, we'll run out of gas, I think.
What was it, like 52, 53, 52 or some crap
Yeah.
like that? Yeah, no, that we ain't having that. All right, no. I want to see more of an Indianapolis Colts Kansas Chiefs game. Where it's like 19-13 or something like that. Then I think we have a shot.
Yeah, I heard the Quell when you guys were discussing that the other day, and what he predicts 17, and I was just like, that would be amazing. I mean, I honestly, more I got to thinking about it, I was just like, you know what, if we can, I mean, if Darius can just keep doing Darius things to Matthew Stafford, who knows? Let's see, I mean, between that and then, like you said, DeForest just pushing him and Grover pushing the center of that pocket into his lap. It's going to.
Well, let's not forget the Rams got another really good All-Pro sitting over there on their defense besides Aaron Donald. Jalen Ramsey is scary, dude. He was used all over the defense against Chicago. He was playing literally defensive end at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive end. I'm not talking about a blitzing corner. No, he lined up at defensive freaking end. Okay? What the heck? All right?
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like Aaron Donald, they got him anywhere from between the 1 and the 9. Okay, that's bad enough. But now you got to sit there and you've got to find the second guy who is anywhere else but those. And then even the 9 technique and stuff is a possibility. It's like, no. Come on now.
He lined up at the 7. He could play the 7, the 9, and everything outside. He just ain't going to run 0 to 5. I don't think. Who knows? Heck, I hope they line his butt up across from freaking Ryan Kelly tomorrow. That'd be great. I think that'd be just perfectly okay with me. I don't think that Sean McVay's dumb enough to do that. Yeah. But he lined them up on defensive end, so...
I just need Sean McVay to be dumb enough to put 99 across from 56 so we can get to see that early and often.
Yeah, Alpha says there's 14 starters on the injury report. Yes, I get that. I understand. And a lot of them are questionable. Only 2 are definitely not going to play, and that's Xavier Rhodes and Braden Smith. And we don't even know what the heck's wrong with Braden Smith. It's a foot injury. That's it. That's all we know. We have no clue. Obviously, it's bad enough for him not to play. And they've already talked about how they're still evaluating it, but they don't think that it's a surgery thing. Otherwise, they would have already done it, right? I mean, a week in, you would have think, if they felt that they needed surgery. And then, so we got Xavier Rhodes and Braden Smith not playing. And then we got like 6 people that are questionable. But you know what? I think almost all of them will play. Quenton Nelson's questionable. He's playing. I mean, I don't see a way he's not. Darius Leonard's questionable. He's playing, right? One of them that we're kind of iffy about is the Eric Fisher. So he did run full practice yesterday, though.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. I mean, I understand he's a veteran, and I understand he's been in communication and getting the mental reps and everything. I mean, one thing I worry about is, okay, we sit there and we discuss how we want this game to have a lot of run influence from the Colts, right? I would have to imagine that run blocking with an Achilles would put a lot more stress under that, injury or strain on it, I guess, I mean, more so than if you were dropping back in pass coverage. So with that being said, I mean, is this a game where we maybe interchange him out, a little, if he's, put a little bit of, Foster or Fisher in there and then sprinkle in Davenport, more on the rundowns and stuff there. I know now you're sort of giving a keyway, but I mean, obviously you can scheme that around, you know what I mean? But just where Fisher's not there in as much on the run plays.
Well, yeah, it is. But I don't know. I don't think Fisher's going to be. Fisher is mostly going to be going up against an outside linebacker, right? And he's not that big of a dude. He's like 250, 240, 250. He's fast, right? He's quick, but he's not like huge and strong, right?
No, he's Anthony Costanzo was last year.
Well, I'm saying the pass rusher that Eric Fisher's going to be going up against most of the day. Because Aaron Donald's not going to go on the end very often, I don't think. I think Aaron Donald traditionally will stay at the 3 or the 1 tech. Now, can he move the defensive end? Absolutely. I just don't see it happening a lot unless he's stunting. You know, if he stunts, then that's a situation that, you know, we definitely have to keep our eye on. Yeah. But, yeah, I think he'll probably line up between Kelly and Glow a lot. They'll probably try out Quenton Nelson early to see how Quentin's foot and back holds up to Donald. Yeah. And if Quenton holds up well, he'll probably move over, you know, for the majority of the game, just so that they can accentuate that part of their defense. Because let's face it, you don't put your best up against your best. You want to put your best up against whoever he's going to have a great day against. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing also, you know, I've been thinking about is, you know, okay, if you look at it, I mean, Fisher and Q, both of those guys, if you start wearing them down, I mean, both of them, I would have to imagine, has some conditioning questions, and Q is more of how's his back going to hold up through a constant aggressive having to get down low and dig out Aaron Donald, you know, from that low pad position and stuff. How well is his back going to hold up for? And then with Fisher, you know, I mean, if you keep hitting him over and over, you know, how good of is his game conditioning going to hold up? You know, I mean, we've seen him in, you know, camp, and I know guys, I remember seeing him running, you know, half field and then turn around and, you know, doing, but that's still just running, you know, and that's cardio. But I'm more worried about his game conditioning, how that would hold up over a long assault of, like you said, just, you know, dealing with this talent that is known as Aaron Donald.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I do expect a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets with the Indianapolis Colts this game. I expect them to try to run the ball heavily. As Alpha Wolf said, David Montgomery rushed for 108 yards, you know, against them. Now, to be fair, David Montgomery had over 1,000 yards rushing last year. He actually did pretty good as a running back with a Chicago Bears offensive line that was just not good. That offensive line for the Bears was not good at all. And, you know, Montgomery played very well. But this is a game where the Rams do not stack the box the way Seattle does. All right. They like to keep their guys in coverage, prevent deep passes, you know, create turnovers in the passing game, things like that. So I really honestly believe that the run game can be there for the Colts as long as we do a lot of trapping and stuff like that to get these big-time playmakers like Aaron Donald and catch them in the backfield and make them run a lot. Yeah. Tire them out.
Absolutely, because, I mean, our physical nature, that, I mean, like, you know, we were discussing about digging Aaron Donald out. You know, I mean, now you've got DeForest, you know, and Grover, who are just constantly smashing into the interior and stuff, you know. Whitworth, you know, 40 years old. Let Quiddy get out there and just keep hitting him with his speed and you know, and hitting him with his speed to power rush and just see how he holds up after, you know, like you said, 35, 40 reps and stuff. And then, you know, you sit there, you talk about our run game. I mean, yes, I understand that Montgomery got 108 yards, but let's be honest. If the Colts want to win this game and stuff, I don't think 108 yards is enough. I feel like we need to be closer to the 130 to 150 range at best, with a 4+ yard per carry average.
Alpha asked if the Rams defense is a 3-4. They are a 3-4 when you're talking about their base. You got to remember, they got Alshon Robinson, Sebastian Joseph Day, and then, of course, Aaron Donald. And your outside linebackers, Justin Hollins, Leonard Floyd, no joke. Leonard Floyd is a good pass rusher. He's not great against the run, though. And then, of course, Troy Reeder is their middle linebacker. I really do believe that we can exploit the linebacking core if, and this is the thing, I think our 3 inner offensive linemen have to have a good game today, right? They have to get their blocks and then move up to the second level to spring guys, okay? That's where I think this will come in handy. Like, if Donald comes in and he's on the left side and you see 2 guys double up on Donald, right before the running back gets through, I think whoever is on the inside or outside, depending upon which side the running back is running, they need to move off and hit that second level in perfect timing with that running back so that we can exploit that. Because if that happens, the guys we have, like Naheem Hines and Marlon Mack and especially Jonathan Taylor, could rip off some really, really big runs. And that was something we just did not have against Seattle. I think our longest run of the day was 8 yards, and that was Naheem Hines off that spin move, off of Bobby Wagner. So we need to get some big chunk yards on the ground and wear this team out.
Yeah, and I'd also like to see the Colts sit there and not focus on making all these interior runs. Let's work the edge. From what I've seen, I know Jalen Ramsey's a good, coverage defender, and he's an okay run defender. But run the ball right at wherever you find Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? Like you said, pull Q or pull somebody, to put that extra player and play over on the side where you see Jalen Ramsey, and just work that edge for a while. Let's get our size and our athletic linemen out in space and leading the way.
Well, the way I see it, we could run it down the gut, but on play action, run screens.
Mm-hmm.
You can run screens off play. If the inner running is doing well, and then you run play action off that, have the running back kick off into the bubble, out onto the flat or something, let the guy come in, and just dump it off. Then make him run back out, go after him again. That's how, like you're talking about wanting to wear him out. That's how you wear him out. You run it right at him, and then you screen away from him. Make them always working hard, no matter what in the world they're doing. Yeah. And then possibly by the second half, they might be sucking a little air. And,
that's one of our advantages is our physicality. And I'm not trying to represent, the Rams like they're soft or anything. That's not my point at all. But what I'm saying is you look at our strengths, in this game. It's going to be the Fisher, Kelly, Q. It's going to be our offensive line. They cannot perform even 100. It has to be a complete flip of the script of what we saw last week for sure. But if we sit there and we start seeing the typical what we expected to see from this O-line, like you said, turn this thing into just a brawl, a street brawl. Just body blow, body blow, body blow, and sooner or later, they're going to start dipping that elbow in to protect the body, and that's when you go upstairs and and up top, and hit them for a nice, Michael Pittman or Paris Campbell down the seam type of situation, or Mo Alley Cox.
This is a man defense. This team does not play a lot of zone. Jalen Ramsey hates playing zone defense. That's why he's not in Jacksonville no more.
Exactly right.
All right, good. He loves playing man defense, and the Rams play a lot of man defense. And the thing about man defense is it's not like zone. Zone, you more worry about getting it, like it's about timing, right? Waiting for that perfect time for the receiver to hit that open spot of the zone and then hitting them when they do. In man coverage, you're waiting on that first or second cut from the wide receiver, right? Yeah. Waiting to see, is he going to break off and get even a slight bit of separation against some of these cornerbacks. It could happen quick, or it could take a moment. But this is a situation where I think Campbell could because I don't think Jalen Ramsey's going to be on Paris Campbell. I really don't. And whoever's going to play Paris Campbell on man, that's not a good. I think Paris Campbell could have a really good game just because of the fact that they play a lot of man coverage. Another person I think is going to have a big game, Zach Pascal.
I think he's going to be our leading receiver this game. I've already stated that a couple times. I really believe the consistency that he offers us, and then the leadership and that more senior wisdom type thing. I love what he brings to the game. And the thing is like you said, I don't know that any defense is going to look at Zach Pascal and say, okay, this is a guy that we have to take whenever you sit there and you see the Pittmans and the Paris Campbell. So, yeah, I love the fact that I honestly think if we can get our run game and then get, like I said, Pascal, 75, 80 yards, I think that's exactly what the Colts would love to see this weekend.
Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the chat. Just seeing what in the world. Harris who? Which Harris did we activate?
DeMichael Harris.
Oh, we activated D. Harris. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He was the only one. I was sort of wondering if they were going to bring a Hundley up also, just in case, things aren't going as well as we hope with the offensive line. Do you need to have somebody there to protect Eason?
Do we still have Kuti on the practice squad?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a guy I wouldn't mind having also. I really like Kiki Kuti. The only issue is he has injury issues.
Yeah, and how well does he know the offense and the playbook and stuff is another question.
Yeah, DeMichael knows it very, very well.
Right.
So, and DeMichael is your trick play guy, your end arounds and your quick screens and things of that nature that you were just talking about. That's what he did last year, right? Mm-hmm. Does Marlon Mack play a single offensive snap? Dylan Green asks. I think this is a game that Marlon Mack could have a game if given a chance. I really do, because like I said, if our offensive line is better than what it was against Seattle, which means, Eric Fisher plays and he's up to speed or whatnot, or we use a lot. The Rams aren't going to load that box. There are going to be running lanes. And Marlon Mack is really good at directing the blockers into where he wants to go to utilize running lanes. I think Marlon would have a huge game. Now, he wasn't used at all against Seattle, but there was no running lanes available, right? None. So I think this is a game where, just strategically and schematically, I really believe that Marlon Mack could really have a game this week.
Do you think that this will be the game where we get to see all three of them in at the same time? Because I love that thought against this defense. I mean, we're sitting there, we're talking about getting, the threat of, I'm assuming it would be the threat of Mack and Taylor run or catching the pass. And then you got Nyheim Hines, who you're just always have to be aware of in open space.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. Could.
No, I'm not. Hold on.
Okay.
Could you imagine Mo Alley Cox and the three running backs, and I don't care which receiver.
Pascal.
I honestly don't care whether it's Pascal or Pittman. Both of them are good blockers. And Campbell is a deep threat, so he could keep the safeties off the line if he needs to, right? Yeah. Man, and then you put those out there and then split freaking Hines out beside the other wide receiver. So you got tied in on strong side, then you got two wides on the other side, and then you're sitting in like a, I don't know, a pro formation or something, you know, where you got both the running backs and a T. That'd be fantastic because there'd be mismatches all over the field.
Yeah, have Marlon Mack drift out in the flat, have JT stay in the middle, and then, you know, if there's nobody coming, just go right, you know, drift up the middle, and yeah. I mean, where do you go? What are you keying on there, you know?
Exactly. Harpoon Bakery asks, what about Wilkins? Look, I love Wilkins. I like Wilkins as much as the next guy. But I don't think he'll see a snap this game because we got the other three guys are healthy. He's there in case someone gets hurt. Okay? That is the fact. That's the way I see it, you know? And he does well when he's called next man up. He does a great job. And this is kind of why I wish they would have moved on from him and maybe traded him or let him go or something like that for his sake, you know, so that he'd be able to get more carries this year, you know, on a different team that would utilize him more. But, you know, it's still really nice to have a security blanket in Jordan Wilkins.
Especially with that extra game and everything else.
Exactly.
You know, I wonder how hard is it going to be for this offense of ours to understand this star defensive package that the Rams are using, you know, moving, like you said earlier, moving Jalen Ramsey around and stuff. What does that change? Do you have any insight on that just through your discussions with DeQuell as far as what insights are changed as far as locating where they're both at? But yet, because I've had it described to me like, you know, like everything, the secondary sort of centers around, you know, Ramsey, and everything on the front interior, you know, center around, you know, I mean, it's sort of like this floating double galaxy type formation or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just trying to figure out, that to me just seems like something totally unique to anything else that we really see.
Yeah, it is a little something different, but Carson Wentz has played the Rams a few times. Okay. Yeah. And he knows, and you know, we know Jalen Ramsey. We played against Jalen Ramsey a few times. You know, we used to play him twice a year. So the thing is, the way McVay's defense, and I can't think of the defensive coordinator's name right off the top of my head now, but the thing, defenses are very similar to offenses where they're going to show you one thing and then do something completely different. Mm-hmm. And, you know, because you got to disguise, like DeQuell was saying. It's important. If you've got veteran guys, you want to use disguise. But this team is so explosive in the secondary that they can disguise stupid. Like, make it look like it's an all-out safety corner blitz.
Yeah.
And yet they're going into prevent. You know, I mean, because they're so athletic, you know?
It makes me think of the Patriots, you know, how, you know, they always looked like they had like 9 guys right on the line of scrimmage, and you didn't know which guys were going to fall out and which guys were coming and bringing the heat. So, yeah, I understand. And that's the part of the game that I would like to learn better and understand, I guess, how does offenses deal with that, especially like your Ryan Kelly and Carson Wentz.
Eberflus has done that quite a few times last year, where he would have like 8 guys up on the line, standing on the line. Oh. All the linebackers and a safety would all be up on the line, standing there, you know, and, you know, generally 3 of them, 4 of them would drop back, you know, back into coverage, but every once in a while, one guy wouldn't, you know, and he would go, and it would confuse the heck out of an offensive line, and it helped, and we got sacks doing it like that. Guys that used to do that a lot, like you said, New England did it a lot. The Ravens love to do that, okay? The Steelers like to do that. I don't see... The Jets used to do it back in the day. I haven't seen them really doing it a lot. They might now with who their head coach is, Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
You know, they might start doing that a lot. But yeah, that's something that would be interesting. I'd like to see because the Colts have a lot of speed. You know, they utilize a ton of speed, and I don't think it would hurt them too bad to drop back. You might even get a interception out of it. You know, because you wouldn't expect the linebacker to back off and drop into coverage, and you're trying to just throw it over the top, and the linebacker's in your spot. You know, that's how Darius got an interception last year. You know, dropping back into a coverage that really the quarterback did not expect him to be there because he thought he was coming. So, yeah. I need to get into that a little bit more as well. I'll probably talk to DeQuell if it comes up about that on Monday. We're going to try to start doing our breakdowns on Sundays after the game, but we can't do it this Sunday because he's being honored in Cleveland.
Oh, cool.
So just, he won't be able to do anything with me on that day. We'll be recording on Monday instead. Sorry, guys. Yawn. I'm in contact with TD Finn's Talk. All ready to talk about, the Miami Dolphins game later. The week after. Always looking ahead. Not looking ahead to break down, just looking ahead to get, guests and shows going for all you guys.
Right.
Shoot, man, we're 37 minutes in. Guys, don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. Don't forget the super chat down here if you guys want to donate and put some money in. You want me to definitely get into something that you're talking about. 17 people watching. What's up, Loyalist?
Hey, man, my hat's been getting wore out. Can you show me where to get the merchandise at?
I have no idea. Where do you get merchandise?
Make sure to check out the Colts Law merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. There are a ton of high quality, reasonably priced items there that you can choose from. And all you got to do is just click one button and you can go and check out all these great merchandise items.
Who the heck did that? I don't know. What do you think about that? What?
That's cool, though. All I had to do was ask, and there it was.
There it was. Magic. Magic. Guys, don't forget you could also share this stream, all right, with that little share button down there below Loyalist. You can click it and then share it to like Twitter, Instagram, something like that. Really, really appreciate it. It's kind of weird. We're in the middle of the beginning of the season, week 2, and my views have went down. That's weird. I'm not used to that. Like everybody else's views has went up. Mine's went down. Like my DeQuell Jackson live stream, it don't even have 300 views now. That's
weird.
I think it's YouTube not putting me out there. They're putting out like other Colts content creators instead, which good for them. But
yeah,
I think my content's good. Darn it.
Yeah, I don't know that they judge it that way.
Yeah. Alpha says, have you noticed the difference in the play design with Marcus Brady? Absolutely. At least week 1, I've seen a lot of different stuff. We used to not throw screens. Okay? Even with Rivers, we didn't throw that many screens, right? Not in a game. He would throw a lot of flats and stuff like that, check downs, things like that. But purposely designed screenplays, we didn't use a lot. Maybe we'd see 2 or 3 in a game, not like what we saw Sunday. So yeah, I do see a lot of different stuff. I see a little bit more spread out there and a whole lot of play action. We was running play action when the run game wasn't. We should have quit playing play action in the second half. Straight up.
And I don't recall or remember noticing a whole lot of crossing. I mean, I know there was a couple, but I mean, last year it seemed like, a large percentage of our plays were the crossing routes and the run after catch type passes. I didn't notice a lot of that last week. But, it may also have to do with the defense that they were playing because, like Coach Reich said, he had some longer routes and stuff that they just seemed to keep shutting down.
Yeah, they were shutting those down. You do have a good point. Like Paris Campbell, he was known for those crossing routes, right? The year before he got, heck, both years when he played, his biggest plays were crossing routes every time.
Yeah,
and we didn't see hardly any of that, but that could just be also, between the fact that, like you said, Seattle might have shut those down, or you could probably kind of cook that up to maybe Carson Wentz not having Paris Campbell's speed down 100%. So, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll be able to see it a little bit more here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one game. That's a real small sample size to be able to label our offense as anything yet right now. But this week, let's label it as a run team.
Yeah, I would like to see us. What I said about Seattle, I said if we were running 4, 5, 6 yards a carry, then you would open up and use play action. But we weren't running 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. And yet they were still running play action.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. On this game, again, same situation. Only not to me, I'm not wanting to run 4, 5, 6 yards to set up play action for deep passes, unlike a lot of people. I want to run 4, 5, 6 yards a carry so I can run set up play action for wide receiver and running back bubble screens. Okay? To where then those can get 15, 20, 25 yards, because you're getting a safety to pull up. And, you never know. One could go the distance. So.
And that's how I feel about our run game, because I feel like, I don't care if it's Marlon Mack, if it's Jonathan Taylor, if it's Nyheim Hines. You give any of those guys the ball, if they can get up to that second level, Jonathan Taylor's going to run, he's going to make them feel him, as he drags them, like underneath of a car type thing. Nyheim Hines is going to just, hit and spin out of that. And I think Marlon Mack, I think he can just dance his way, set a blocker up and then all of a sudden bust one. So like I said, I feel like if our running game can get to that second level at a consistent basis, I think that's going to really, really just put this team in a much better position for what I feel like is the best way to beat this Los Angeles Rams team. And it's not going to be easy, but.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Dylan says, is anyone going to the game tomorrow? Well, I got a text this morning, and it said that someone named Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James is going to go. I don't know. Maybe. That's two down and 67,000 to go.
There you
go.
Yeah.
But with those 67,000 might actually show up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get them. The rest will come.
When our O-line was getting destroyed and Wentz was taking the kind of hits that might damage his internal organs, that's not a hyperbole or anything. Master Blast is right on it because
I think he undersold that a little bit on a couple of them.
He says we never move to max protection or design rollouts or quick two-step drops and stuff like that. We continue playing the same type of stuff with the play actions and the five-step drops and things like that. And you're right, Master Blaster. And that's not cool. That's not cool. I get they want to play into Wentz's wheelhouse. But at the same time, you have to adjust your game to what is there. If you cannot impose your will on the other team, then you have to take what you're given. And they weren't doing that. And so I agree with you. In this game, hopefully they learn from that. and try to impose your will in the first quarter. If it works, great. If it don't, adjust your game plan as it needs to be done. All right, because I don't want to lose this game 47-13. Okay? I don't. That would be awful. And if you don't make those adjustments, that legitimately could happen. But if this game rolls out right, and you understand, and Reich and Brady and Eberflus, and they understand, I'm not going to go on the players. The players are going to go out there and play their hearts out. Okay, I understand that. Hurt, not hurt, doesn't matter. They're going to go out there and give it their all. And they're going to try to win because no one likes to lose 2 in a row. Right? Even if the Rams may be the best team in the NFC, they still don't want to lose 2 in a row. So I legitimately think that they need to get in-game adjustments on the fly, like after each drive, rather than going into halftime like they did in Seattle and go, well, we need to fix something here. Okay, defense, let's fix this now at halftime after they've already scored 21 points on us, So, and had 2 deep touchdowns. Eberflus needs to get those adjustments done, by drive. Brady and Reich need to make their adjustments by drive and get things and get them to work. I get that you want to go with your game plan. You don't want to derail from your game plan too much. But every game plan should have 1 or 2 contingencies. I mean,
Yeah.
Our game plan is to run it. What if we can't run it? Our game plan is to run it.
But you know what? I love this team for the fact that you think about what this team does whenever they have their, and I don't want to say their backs are up against the wall, but let's be honest. The Green Bay game last year, not a whole lot of people gave the Colts a chance to win that game. Okay, we came out and we performed one of our better games. Okay, what was it, 2 years ago? The Kansas City game. Everybody was like, oh, we're going to get our doors blown off. For some reason, this team performs very good in these spots where they're the underdog by national media and stuff. And I know they say they don't listen to but I think they do. Well, we know Darius Leonard does. We know what motivates him. Pretty much anything that that he can morph into being a slight is going to motivate him. But I do feel like this team performs really good under those underdog conditions and stuff. And like you said, there's not a whole lot of people, that are sitting there thinking that this team's going to be able to stave off the big bad Los Angeles offense for 4 quarters and stuff. But I'll tell you right now, I would much rather have to rely on our defense to step up right now and our offense to maintain an even, playing field versus our offense, just for the fact that, like we said, Eric Fisher, if he gets to start, is very limited. If not, Davenport is Davenport. The offense, I feel like if our defense can just keep our offense with opportunities to perform and keep their offense off the field, that's going to just be the way that this thing has to play out this weekend.
Absolutely. I said this last week. I'm going to say it most definitely this week. I don't care if they score every drive or not. I don't want to see a bunch of 3-and-outs. Okay? I don't want to see 4 or 5 3-and-outs in this game. All right. You figure you're going to get 2 possessions a quarter. Maybe. So that's maximum 8 possessions a game. If you go 3-and-out, 4 of those, half, like you did last week, that means the most you can score is 28 points. Mm-hmm. Right? That's the most. And against this, and you're going up against the number 1 defense in the NFL. So most likely it's not going to be 28 points.
Yeah.
So I want to see some drives of at least, 25, 35 yards. If you have to punt, you have to punt. That's fine. Give your defense breaks. Give your defense breathers. Don't make them go out there, defend a long drive, give up a touchdown, and then have to go out there literally a minute and a half later and do the exact same thing. Okay? Yeah. Because all that's going to do is snowball on them, and it's going to be very, very difficult on the defense. The offense has to stay on the field.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot have where your defense turns and gets a turnover on a excellent punch out from Leonard, and then turn around and end up returning the ball back on downs. I mean, like you said, you have to give that defense time, because we're going to – I don't care, if the Colts, if everything goes according to plan, it's not like I'm expecting the Colts to run away with this, 17 points or anything. So we're going to need that defense to be very fresh in that fourth quarter. We're going to need them to be able to be that fresh leg, sideline to sideline, like you said, and the only way that happens is they've got to get off the field and they need to get some 3 and outs and get off the field and let our offense, like I said, just grind that clock away, and just, and I don't mean in a way of keeping away from the Rams. I just mean in the way of keeping our defense fresh. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they have to sit there, because I don't think that you can play that way against the Rams defense. I don't think you can sit there and just do this little dink and dunk 2 and 3, because they're going to make plays themselves. But the thing is when we've got a chance, if 3rd and 6, we've got to make that drive stop right there. When we have a chance in the red zone, we have to, like you said, we have to put points, preferably touchdowns, on the board.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Faye says, I want to leave and watch the Auburn game. Well, I'm glad to know that the Auburn game is more important. Appreciate you. I'm playing Face. He says his prediction is Colts win 19-13. Man, I thought some people had low scores. DeQuell Jackson had 27-17. Okay? Had the Colts winning by 2 scores. By 10 points.
Awesome.
Okay? And I thought holding it, if we hold the Rams to 17 points, that's a win in the department. 13, we should win that game if we hold the Rams to 13 points. All right, yeah. I'll guarantee that. My score was a bit pessimistic, going by what I saw last week, looking at the injuries, all that neat stuff, what I saw from both teams last week, right? And I was like, I honestly think the Rams win this game. I do. I'm not saying the Colts can't win. I hope they do. They most definitely have a team. They just need certain things to go right for them, and they can't make the same mistakes. But I still think that the Rams win 31-24.
Okay. See, and for me, I feel like if the Rams are going to win, it's going to be a higher game, because I feel like then, they got the lead on us, and then we start playing catch up. But I think that I'm more along the lines of DeQuell, and I understand. I'm a homer. Never hid that fact, But I was closer. I was 24-20 is what I was thinking with the Colts victory.
Yeah. Now, I've been saying since the beginning of since this schedule came out, I was like, well, we're losing week 2. I circled that game and said, we're losing that game. And as much as I want to win, and I've stayed to it, I've kept my honesty on this, be straight with everybody on how I feel. I love my Colts. I think they have the team. When everything is running, they could beat anyone in the NFL on any given Sunday.
Yep.
But right now, things are a little tough for them. Not everything is up to par. Still working back from injuries. Still trying to get cohesiveness going on the offensive line and the quarterbacks and wide receivers, things like that. So I think there's still a little bit of work to do. I think week 5 Colts are going to be a whole lot better than week 2 Colts.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And I'll be honest, I picked, as well. I picked LA at the beginning to win. But there's been, I loved what our defense showed us in the second half of last week's game. I know, they didn't run the same offense and stuff, but what I'm saying is just the communication and the smoothness that we saw in the second half compared to the first half. First half you seen guys rushing around and they just looked like, they were out of position on a few of those plays. And then, like you said, there was those plays where, Kari Willis was hitting that first bite, and stuff. I think I don't see that happening to Kari. Honestly, my bigger concern is if Kari finds himself out deep, is just having somebody just flat blow by him, because the Rams receivers are fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Alpha, if we did get out coached, it wouldn't be McVay versus Reich. It's McVay versus Eberflus. Okay? And I honestly think Eberflus showed me some different looks last week than what I'm not used to seeing, especially in the second half. Mm-hmm. He did a lot more blitzing and stuff and zone blitzing. And that's what I want to see against Stafford. You'll hear me preach, you never zone blitz. Ever. Not a good idea. You need to man up and then blitz. If you zone blitz, zone is all about getting guys out there in an umbrella, and covering the field. And if you blitz while in zone, that's one less person in that, in that umbrella to do that, which means there's bigger open spaces, right, to get the ball out. I think it would work against Matt Stafford. We ran it 3 times. 3 zone blitzes against Stafford last year against Detroit. Got 2 sacks. One of those sacks was Leonard's strip
fumble.
Strip sack that he had. I think a zone blitz works well against, but it has to be one of those where a lot of people are up on the line and you drop a couple back in coverage and you bring an extra guy. That's what I want to see. I think you do that 3 or 4 times against Stafford, you'll confuse him and you'll get a turnover maybe, or at least, get a bad play out of it and force him into 3rd and long or something. That's what I want to see.
And I understand McVay's dynamic and his offense is impressive, but like you said, I like what our Eberflus brings and our defense brings as far as closing that gap. Whereas when you start looking at our offense versus this new defensive coordinator, and now you start looking at Reich and all the diverse, play calling, that if our offensive line gives this offense a little bit of time this week, can just really create havoc for that Los Angeles defense. And like I said, between that and just the physical nature of this team, I do believe that the window is wider open than what I thought it was immediately after the performance Sunday.
I do feel this is a game that is going to have a lot to do with the big name guys on both teams. I think if the defense is going to have a big game and stop the Colts for the Rams, Donald Ramsey's going to have big games. Same with the Colts. If the Colts defense is going to do well, expect DeForest Buckner to have a big game in pressure and stops behind the line of scrimmage. Darius is going to have to get a turnover or a sack or something of that nature. And then when you flip it, there's no question Matt Stafford has to have another great game, and he's going to have to be able to dissect the Colts defense in order for the Rams to win. Because I honestly don't think that their running game with Henderson is nowhere near as good as Chris Carson. Chris Carson's a big, heavy load back, and Henderson is not the same kind of back. And I think the Colts will handle him just fine. Don't expect 140 yards on the ground by the Rams this time. They'll probably try to do it. They'll probably try to run the ball. But I don't think the Colts are going to allow that crap, not after last week.
No, our tackling has to get better. Yeah, like you said. And Carson was definitely trying to harness the power of a bull through some of those plays and stuff.
But I will say this. If the Colts come back tomorrow and at 4:30 we're all talking about how the Colts won, I will guarantee you 190% it'll be posted by everyone. Whether they're content creators, media, anything, it'll be rolled out as Rams lost game, not Colts won. Rams found a way to lose. You know, they won't give the Colts credit. It's not like the Colts got credit against Green Bay, right? The
Right.
Packers found a way to lose in overtime. Yeah, remember that? We remember that. I remember that. Kansas City game 2 years back, right? We beat the snot out of them. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes hobbles into a loss, right? That was the headlines. So the Colts won't get the respect or the what they would deserve if they won. Now, if they lose, then they lose. You know, in my opinion, either team can win this game. I just think the Rams will. But I got this more of a kind of like a 60-40, you know, kind of in that aspect of I think there's a 60% chance that the Rams will win and a 40% chance that the Colts will. So it's not like there's no chance the Colts can't win. It's just I think there's a better chance the Rams do. I don't think having Edger and James and Peyton Manning is going to make much of a difference for the players. Now, for the fans, obviously. But that ain't going to happen until halftime. You know, we're going to see a whole half. And remember last week in the first half what happened? We can't come out that flat again. All right.
No.
Guys, we're over an hour now. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell. Is there anything? Hey, why don't you go check out Loyalist? All right, go follow Loyalist on Twitter. Loyalist, what's your Twitter handle?
All right, it's Colts Loyalist all together, and then it's 56.
Colts Loyalist 56.
No spacing.
No spacing.
Yep.
Go give this man a follow on Twitter. If you follow Twitter, go do that. All right, because he ain't got enough followers, in my opinion. All right.
Yeah.
Stafford needs to be introduced to pay. Pay is questionable with a hamstring. And a hamstring on a defensive end pass rusher is not a good situation. I hope he's able to play. I hope he's able to play well, but we'll see. Guys, I'm out of here.
Need an opportunity for Trey to introduce himself as well.
Yep, he's had Teray's been dealing with a groin injury, the same with DeForest Buckner. But I think Teray will play this week. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please hit that like button. Check out all the links in the description. I'd really appreciate it. And check out Patreon because, like I said, I might do a live stream Patreon only game reaction tomorrow. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. And as usual, have a good one.